The NATO chief is Jens Stoltenberg, and he told me he's confident that the US will approve more money.
US has provided an enormous amount of military support to Ukraine, together with European allies actually. Then yes, I see that there are some disagreements, but I'm confident that the US Congress will agree a package for Ukraine.
But this is sending a very damaging message from your point of view about Ukraine. President Putin, sitting in Moscow, is rubbing his hands in glee at the fact that the US is basically arguing internally over whether to provide more aid.
So I would like to see a decision in the US Congress as soon as possible. Having said that, what happens is that there's continued flow of ammunition and weapons going on to Ukraine from European allies. The UK just announced, Germany announced 1,000 new Patriot interceptors from NATO allies, which are going to be contracted. So a lot of things are happening. And then in the meantime, I hope that the US will find a way to agree the package for Ukraine.
There is a feeling that Russia is, if not on the front foot, is certainly more balanced. It's ramped up its domestic arms production. It has made gains in the Donbass, and it looks like it is increasing its attacks on Kyiv and other major cities. How are you going to deal with that?
You are right, it is a very serious and difficult situation on the battlefield. And there are no signs that Russia is going to plan or is planning for peace. The answer is that we need to ramp up supplies to Ukraine, because it's only when President Putin realizes that he will not win on the battlefield that we can have a just end to this war.
I realise you may have left by the end of this year. Your contract, I think, is up in October. And
yes.
Unless there's, are you going to renew? Are you going to?
No.
Are you going to seek a renewal?
No.
An extension?
No.
Another year?
No. I've been at NATO this fall for 10 years.
I set that up elegantly because it means that if Donald Trump wins the presidency, you won't be there. So you don't have to necessarily deal with the consequences of that. Would that be damaging for NATO if Donald Trump becomes the candidate and then goes on to win the presidency?
It's not for me, it's not for NATO to have any opinion about who is going to be elected as president in any NATO ally, and that includes, of course, the United States. But I'm confident that regardless of the outcome of the presidential elections this fall, the US will remain a staunch member of the alliance, because it is in the security interest of the United States to have a strong NATO. It's strong bipartisan support for NATO in the United States, and we have to listen carefully. The criticism is not mainly about NATO, it's mainly about NATO allies not spending enough on NATO. And the good news is that NATO allies, the European allies and Canada, have now really started to increase defense spending, so we have a good story to tell about fairer burden sharing within the alliance.
And the reality is that the leading candidate is still hell-bent on a withdrawal from NATO in some shape or form.
No, what I hear is a clear message about European allies have to invest more in defense, has to spend more. And that has been a consistent message from different US administrations.
Decide a colour.
I think I'll do the blue one.
Blue is very popular this year.
It's a NATO colour, you know.
It's everybody's colour,
Yeah,
it seems. Right, come over here, Secretary-General. Now, the INS says we're not ready, we're woefully unprepared. Where do you think we are as a society for the advent of AI?
I think NATO as an alliance, we are working hard on AI, and we realize the big potential for our armed forces for security. So I think something like there.
Oh, you're much closer to the middle.
Yeah, but I think we actually work hard on this.
And the reason? You can add your own if you want.
Security. That's
a big problem.
A big problem, but also a big opportunity. I mean, the thing is that, for instance, when it comes to our drones, to our intelligence, to the way we message and manage information, we already use AI in a very important and good way.